So you probably see I do a lot of assisted sale projects. It's just another strategy that I do quite often. Instead of buying the property, the questions I get asked all the time is, what is an assisted sale? How do you actually find one? And the pros and cons to an assisted sale, which I'm going to go into in this video. So I'll start with what actually is an assisted sale. In a nutshell, this is just a strategy where you will agree a price with the seller. You will then get a contract drafted up that allows you to renovate that property and then sell it on the seller's behalf. Now, you never own this property, so you're never actually buying it at all. The most you'll ever do is take a security over it, a security to cover the money you're going to spend, maybe a profit. You can request whatever sort of security you actually want, and it's going to be down to your negotiation with you and the seller. But that, in a nutshell, is what an assisted sale is. Again, just to clarify, you will not buy the property, but what you will do is agree a price with the seller, get the contract drafted up that allows you to renovate that property and then sell it. And what happens is, this price you've agreed with the seller, you need to know this price, which is the end value. It's just the same in every single strategy you do, whether you're selling a deal, you're buying a property yourself. You need to start with the end first. You need to know what your end value is going to be before you can agree this price with the seller. Otherwise, there's no point. And then you obviously need to know that bit in the middle, which is the renovation. How much is that going to cost you? And the little fees that's going to be in there as well, i.e. your legal fee, your estate agency fee. Your legal fee will be a little bit higher as well, usually, because there's a little bit more work to be done. So just taking into consideration all of that when you are structuring an assisted sale. There's no point in structuring something that once you, that once you add the value, is just going to get your money back. What's the point in that? You still want to be making a bit of margin. And in these strategies as well, you don't need to be going after a 20, 30, 40, 50 grand profit. You're in and out quicker, as I'll go into in some of the pros here. You're in and out quicker. There's no EDS to think about. You're less money up front. You're only paying the refurb cost, no deposit or anything like that. Your ROI is usually extremely high. You know, it's not uncommon to see 100+% ROI. I've just completed on one recently, actually this week, in Croftfoot, where I got 106% ROI. So I put in just under £20,000 all in for everything and made just over £20,000, and it ended up being 106% ROI. And another great pro about this strategy is you can structure it any way you want. So you can agree a price, and if they're not quite happy with the price and they want to start negotiating a little bit, you can say, right, okay, anything above X amount, I'll give you 50% of that as well. For example, you've agreed it at 70 grand, then I'm going to spend 20 grand on it, it's going to be worth 110 at the end, so there's a nice 20 grand minus fees in there, the margin. You could then say to the owner that you are going to agree 50% anything over a certain figure, so that they get a little bit more as well if it sells over that figure. And that's what happened with this one in Croftfoot as well, where we agreed 50% over a certain figure. It actually went 11.5 grand over home report, and the figure that I had agreed meant that they got an extra £8,250. So absolutely over the moon. It's a win-win for everybody, this strategy. When would you use this assisted sales strategy? Use it when you can't buy that property. It's not an option for you to buy that property. You should be using it as just another strategy that you are aware about. You can introduce it to this owner who is wanting too much money right now. If they're wanting too much, more than you can give, more than you're willing to offer, why not try and structure an assisted sale? Because again, you're in and out quicker, there's no deposit, there's no ADS. You'll be able to get them more than what they want all the time. 100% of the time you'll be able to get them more. If you can negotiate a bit more of a discount on that, absolutely brilliant, you're going to win a lot more. But keep that in mind, that this is just another strategy, another offering for that owner, depending on what it is they're looking for. So how to actually find an assisted sale? As I've just kind of touched on, I hear a lot of people, sometimes inside the network as well, and they come and they say, I think I've found an assisted sale. I think this is a good opportunity to be an assisted sale. My first question there is, have they even viewed the property? Have they met the seller? Assisted sales materialise in your conversations with the owner. They don't, you can't just go in and go, this looks like an assisted sale. Everything could look like an assisted sale, could look like a flip, could look like a buy to let, but it's not until you figure out the owner's problem, what is the solution that they are requiring. Because if they need a really, really quick sale, they can't wait on you going in to do an assisted sale, renovate the property to sell it. They need something quicker, they need you to buy it. So then you're looking at, right, how can I buy this? And then that's when your offer's going to be a bit lower. Then what happens is, if you're offering a little bit lower than what they want, you're here and they're there because you want to buy it, because you've got your ADS, because you've got your deposit, because you need to wait 6 months to sell it, X, Y, and Z, all these other different reasons. You can eliminate all of them and give them more. However, you need to do the assisted sale strategy, and that's how I say it to a lot of these owners. It's like, listen, I can't get there buying it, but I can get there doing an assisted sale. And they'll say, what's an assisted sale? So you're not going in and you're going like that, I know exactly what we can do here, let's do an assisted sale. You're almost letting them tell you, with your questioning, with the answers they're giving you, they're telling you that an assisted sale actually suits them without actually knowing. Because in that conversation, it's you and them, it's not you, them and 5 others, it's you and them right now. So make the most of that conversation when you're trying to negotiate these assisted sales. And just what I touched on again, you've got an offer there that you will make them to buy that property. Take into consideration your ADS, everything else. But if they can't take that, you've got this other option here. And if you can't take that, bring it to us and we'll take it on the market and sell and give you 50% of the fee, or go and joint venture with somebody, or whatever, refer on to an agent, an auction, whatever it is. But that's just a strategy that a lot of people just aren't really too aware about, or too aware of how it actually works. So just keep all of that in mind. As I said about the pros, no ADS, you're in and out quicker, no 6 month through, less costs up front, higher ROI, and you can structure it any way you want. I'm even paying some of the bills, £500 a month I'll pay towards a mortgage or something like that until it sells as well. So you can structure it any way you want. But the cons, you need to be very, very careful, because you don't own that property. And right now, I'm still waiting on money from an assisted sale that I'd done, that sold to the buyer that I went and found. I got a phone call one day from my solicitor saying, are you sitting down? Oh shit, what's going on? The owner's gone bankrupt. So long story short, it's a very, very long story, this one. I will do another video once it sort of resolves itself somehow. So long story short, I am still waiting on that money to come in, because the owner was gone bankrupt. It is out there somewhere. Hopefully I will get it back. But you need to be aware of this, bankruptcy, homelessness, which was another one I nearly got caught out with, death, if they go to jail, all these things that can happen in life, and you've put 20, 30, 40 grand into an assisted sale, what's that then going to do? Also, if the owner decides to go and sit in your staging, you then need to take them to court, and you need to go through all that process, and the stress of that, the mental energy that's going to take, and the initial cost, albeit you will get it back if you win the case. It's just going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot for you. So just be aware that it is a higher risk strategy, much higher risk than actually just buying the property, because at least you own the property then. So yeah, it's a phenomenal strategy. It really is a fantastic strategy, but you just need to be aware that loads of pros, but there is some cons there. And the number one bit of advice actually that I can give you is, you need to build this trust with the owner. You need to build the relationship. What you will naturally do is you start getting into negotiations, and they start to know, like, and trust you a little bit. But you will get to a point where you feel like you just trust each other, because that's what an assisted sale is 95% all about. It's about them trusting you that you're going to go in, do a good renovation of that property, increase the value so that they can get their figure, you can get your figure, and everybody wins. It's all about trust. So just keep that in mind as well. If you are more interested in assisted sales and strategies like this, there is an in-depth video in the Property Coaching Network. So if you're interested, if you want to learn a lot more, not just about assisted sales, but about all other strategies within property, then visit www.propertycoachingnetwork.com. It's £59 a month. I'll see you in there. Thanks for watching this video. Click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.